Right, what is going on? Well, I am out in the middle of nowhere. Although I can hear an aircraft somewhere in the sky, but never mind. I am out in the middle of nowhere at midnight. So I am looking at the new Sofirn. Now it's a large Sofirn, so it is using a 21700 cell. But I don't mind that, and I know there will be comments saying, too heavy, it snaps your neck and you'll you know, kill yourself. I don't find 21700 headlamps too heavy, but that's me. And that's just my opinion. So maybe it's because I work out and I work out my traps, I don't know, but I don't find that an issue. I prefer to have more juice. So 21700 has more room for more juice, so that's why I prefer them. So this is the HS41. In fact, let's turn that off and then we'll turn it on so you can actually see properly. Turn that off. 3, there you go. Right, now we can see what we're doing. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So IP68, so dust proof and waterproof, not resistant, proof. We'll walk along while I'm talking here. Very cheap though, so when I think of Sofirn, I think of bang for buck. I can also say the same thing about Workos, but I think, and I've been told, and I don't know this for certain, but I have been told that they are the same company, well, the same founder, but I don't know about that. But I would probably agree with that, because with both of them you get massive amount for your money, and in this instance this was like 30 bucks, really, really good. So they didn't send me this, I got this. So very, very impressed with it so far. It does have Type-C charging on the back, so there's the flap look. Boof. I mean, these are just initial thoughts. This isn't the full review. I will do a full review, but these are my initial thoughts. So Type-C, not a bad flap. I've seen better. Sometimes I feel like an afterthought. It's not bad though. It is snug. I will say it is snug once it's in. Look, let's have a close look. So it's not one of these ridiculous ones that flops around and you lose the waterproofing. So this probably is IP68. That means you can submerge it in water. Okay, so it could be. So quite large, look, in my hand, but it is because it's got a 21700 cell in there. Lithium ion, and it has a magnetic base. You can't see that. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere, so I've got nothing to attach it to. Is there any metal around here? No. I haven't got any metal plates on my head to stick it to, so unfortunately I can't show you. But nice big head. The head reminds me of the SP40, which I applauded and said, brilliant for the money, brilliant for the money. That had a nice wide bow, although that was a single emitter and this is a quad. So it's a quad emitter, and this comes with the luminous SST20s. So you get 4 SST20s. On the box, in regards to tint, the Kelvin value, in other words, it said 6,000 to 6,500. I don't know whether that means because on the lowest it's 6,000 and on the highest it's 6,500. I'm not sure. It wasn't particularly white. It's white-ish. In fact, let's turn this off and I'll actually show you. So it's got a bit of a strange system. Okay, so when you first press it, the button will light up to tell you what the battery's doing. So if that's green, it means everything's okay. You've got plenty of juice. And as it goes red and flashes red, but I will cover that in the full review. It just gives you an idea of what's happening. So I'll go through the mode. So if you click and hold, you get moonlight. That is 1 lumen. So let's see how powerful that is. I'll come down and try not to touch these because these are stinging nettles and they're a bit horrible. So 1 lumen, pretty good, but because I always say I like a 1 lumen mode so it doesn't ruin your night vision. It's just enough, and you can do things like leave it running in hotel rooms and all sorts of things. Leave it running as a beacon, because there are no beacon modes on this. There is a strobe, but that's all. So pretty good. So now they call that moonlight, and then if you click and hold, you go to the next one. That is eco, which is 10 lumens. So we'll stand up here because I was down there. So that's okay. Look, pretty wide, and it's a TIR, so you get a bit of a floody beam. So pretty good there, but obviously pointing off in the distance, I'm seeing nothing there. It's not until you come a bit closer there. I'm just showing you where the light is, so it's in the middle there. So that's your 10, then you click and you go to low. So there's low, and now this is where you can start using it to walk by. So let's see if it pushes out. Not bad, not bad. Let's turn around a bit. I've done this in 4K, highest bitrate I can get away with, and I've done it in HDR. So if you've got a good HDR TV, make sure you've got it in the highest mode, and it will pick up all the highs and lows here. So okay, that's not bad. So I think that's okay. And then the next mode, boom. So in fact, just to show you, because we'll go on a fixed surface here. So we'll start again. So eco, you can hardly see it. Then that is that was moonlight. This is eco, which is 10. Then low, which is 100 lumens. I can walk by that, no problem, look. Pretty nice. And then the next one is 500, medium. So I'll move the camera slightly up because look, it's starting to reach out into those trees right in the distance. So there's 100 lumens, pretty nice. Sorry, 100, is it 150? Might be 150. And then you jump after this. So if you go, we'll show you again just on this here. So we'll go right at the bottom. So there's moonlight, eco, low 150, medium, and then you need to double click. So that is your high. So that is a 1500 lumens. So they are saying 1500 lumens. I think that's pretty bright. That's what you're going to get in most sort of like 18650 headlamps. Although now they're starting to push higher figures. I agree that when people say that, they're coming up to like the 2000 mark on a lot of the premium ones. Let's see if that pushes down. It does. Look, that's nice. And let's see. So I'm going to rotate this. Watch. See how wide the beam is. It's not that wide. It's good. It's okay though. It's good for hiking because if I point it down to the floor, so if you show my feet, so there's my feet there. So if you look, this is just for scale, there's my foot. So if this is up your head, I'm going to pull this up to head height. See how wide that is? That's head height now. And look, the periphery of that's perfect for hiking, no problems. And that's not even the highest mode. So 1500 lumens with no step down unless it gets mega hot, because this does use ATR, which is automatic temperature regulation. So there's no time step down on this. And then for the showstopper, you can double click again and go to turbo. But that does have a step down, obviously, because due to heat. So if we do that now, so double click there, that's really impressive. That's 4000 lumens there. Look at that. But you're going to get step down. Now the step down in this doesn't just drop off, which is quite nice. It slowly ramps down, and I'll show you. In fact, I'll let it do it. It gets quite hot though, obviously. At 4000 lumens, you are going to get a lot of heat, and that's why it's stepping down. It can't maintain that. Let's come down to this river a bit. So really bright. And that's already... I can feel the heat on that now. So when I've been out so far, it's taken about 45 seconds from cold, like a cold start, to step down. But obviously if you used it before that, it's going to step down quicker, which is done there now. So that has stepped down. So to prove that step down, look, we'll point it off in the distance. So there's a load of trees. So if I press double click this, see how it's going back up again. So you know there was a step down. So what we'll do is we'll turn that out just briefly. And then I'll put it in the back pocket without trying to burn myself. And then we'll just calibrate that. So I'll put on the HC65 V2 from Nightcore. Same headlamp, so sort of style, but it's using 18650. So if I go to turbo on that one, so this is on my head at the moment. So quite a white light. You know, I think that's quite a white light. I don't mind. It's certainly not warm. It's neutral to white, but very nice. And you have these secondary modes on this. So you've got the red modes. So if we come over here and then let's say you're busy with something, you want red modes. So straight from off, you can just double press. And then you've got your red. And if that's not enough, so if you come back and you think, that's not enough, I can't see that tree properly, have a bit more. Boom, there it goes even higher. I really like that. I like having a red mode, and I also like having a red mode that can boost to a higher level, because some of them that add as like a second thought and it's like rubbish. So you see that there? So there's my hand stretching out. So pretty good, pretty decent. And then we'll go back again, turn it back to normal mode, turbo, there you go. So TIR on this one, it does have a secondary mode. Well, I'm not going to go over everything here because this is just to calibrate the main modes here. So that's your HC65 from Nightcore. I give this a very high mark. I think I give it 9 out of 10? Or might be 9.5, I'm not sure. Or that might have been the V1, but very impressed with this one. So let's get this turned out, and then we will look at, there, get that turned down. And now let's look at the Luminite Compass R. Very expensive, kind of like one of the old style O-lights. You know, like the O2 Novas and things like that. It's got the wide bowl with the micro lens TIR. I like it though. It's almost got a tiny little bit of blueness to it, and I'll show you that. So if we turn that on, there it is on just its normal mode, but we'll go straight to turbo. There. See that? That's quite a daylighty tint, I would call that. Let's have a turn around and see what you think. Actually, on side-to-side testing, even though the bowl looks wide and it's a micro lens and it's TIR, there are other ones which are slightly wider, but I think this is more for running, although that's how it's marketed on the website, because if I remember rightly, I think it's Finland or Sweden where they do a lot of the outdoor triathlons and Ironman events. If you just bear with me a few seconds, I'm just getting eaten by a bug here, so bear with me there. I've got it. I think I killed it. I don't know if you heard it there. So we'll turn that out. So that's the Compass R by Lumenite. Very expensive though. You know, I think I've said that before about that company. That's fine, but you know, all can be quite expensive. And now we will look at, this is the, what's old now, the Elf, or whatever they call it now, the Elf C2 is out, but this is the Wizard Pro V2 by Orbitech. Very, very nice these. One of the things I quite like about them is the fact that they have an excellent drop rating. The HS41, which we are looking at here, has a 1 meter drop rating. This has something ludicrous like 10, and I have whacked it, look. See on the end there? I have dropped that. It was only halfway up a ladder, but it was onto some actual concrete, well, a slab of concrete. So it's survived well, mag charging, so you don't get the port there, but it is, I think it's something like 10 metres of water you can put this into, so it's above sort of your standard IP8 sort of value. So we'll go to this one. Boom, very warm. Let me just turn off my light. But very warm light there, look at that. Extremely warm tint. Some people like that, some people don't. I like a warm tint, but I'm not a tint snob where it has to be this tint and it has to be that tint. I'm not that bothered, you know, as long as it's quite nice. If you bear with me a few seconds, I have just triggered the gimbal there, so 2 seconds. So if you're wondering why is everything spinning around, boom, that's better. Right, so just for the scientists there, if you put a magnetic field near the gimbals, they shut down. So bear in mind this has mag charging on the base. That's what's just happened there, so apologies for that. It's not because I'm a total idiot, it's just science. Okay, so pretty nice. This one doesn't step down too fast, it's quite nice, doesn't get too hot, but you're looking at a maximum of like 2,500 lumens, a bit like the V2 of the HC65, which I showed you before there. Same with the Lumenite. Lumenite's just over 2,000, I think, so we'll pop that out of the way. And then the next one that I am testing it against is quite a big one actually, so if I can get it screwed in, so there you go, right, nearly. Bear with me a few seconds, I have to do this one-handed, so it's quite difficult. Right, okay. Right, I'll just use a little bit of light to show you this one. So this is the Firefly's PL47 Gen 2. So there you go, just to show you. PL47 Gen 2. And look at those beautiful Ox LEDs. It's still a quarter meter, and you're getting about 4,000. Now, depends on, you can get a high CRI setup with this, within the cheers, or you can go for a more traditional thrower on the LED choice, and I think that's what I did on this one. So it's about 3,500 to 4,000 lumens, so very similar output to the HS41. So I'll just show you this. So I'll turn out the headlamp, so I'm not cheating. So we'll turn it on and then watch. Boom, look at that, it's like a car's headlight. Problem with this one is, I would say this steps down faster than the Sofirn, even though this is more expensive than the Sofirn. Same cell, 21700. That's why some people say it's a little bit fugly, because it's quite large. It does have the large head there, but very fast step down. I normally get about, even from cold, something like a 30-second step down this, which isn't that good really, is it, when you think about it? So let's have a look at that down here, because I was using the HS down here. So look, nice, I like it. Super output, but steps down rapid. So let's see if it steps down. In fact, I think it may have already triggered a step down. Yeah, that's it, it's stepped down. And to prove it's stepped down, watch, if I do this, it'll go back up. So look at it now, and then watch, if I double click to force turbo, see? So steps down rapid. Although I do like the auxiliary LEDs, I think that's quite cool. And it's a good feature, and I have used that. And I will also be checking it against the classic, well, I say classic, it's a newer one, the Perrin 2, which has that funny little thing at the top, which is like the proximity sensor. I'm not going to go over that because it's not a review of this, but it does have the proximity sensor. Same cell, 2,500 lumens. It's more of a neutrally white, sort of cool white to neutrally white. You don't really get a choice, if I remember. And you get a nice head strap with this one, which I do like. And it's a single emitter though. But I didn't notice a lot of step down when I was testing this earlier, so I'll turn my headlamp off and turn on. There's the Perrin 2, all-light, mag base for charging. Now let's turn it on to turbo. You ready? Boom. That's very pleasant. I like that. Very, very pleasant. Let's go up into the canopy. Let's see what the canopy looks like. Beautiful, because I find the canopy tends to be less shiny than some of the lower leaves. That's nice, isn't it? I think that's very pleasant, and I like using it, but I have had people say, it's too heavy, it's too heavy. But some of those people, I don't know if they've actually used it, because I've never used this and thought, oh no, my head's going to snap. I get it. If I was doing some endurance thing, I may consider a lighter one. But then on the same thought process, if it was an endurance thing, I'd want more juice, so I'd want a 21-700 like this. So it depends what you want and what you're willing to take. It's like saying you shouldn't have a heavy backpack. Well, it's up to the person carrying it, isn't it? So that's not bad. Pretty good. And then down to the floor. It's pretty diffuse, isn't it? Look, that's a nice beam. I like that. Anyway, let's turn this off and go back to the light I'm supposed to be talking about. So pop that in there. Now, where on earth did I put it? That's the question. So I'll have to find it now. So bear with me 2 seconds. I think I popped it in here. Where was it? No, I've lost it. There it is. Right, I found it. Sorry, and then I'll stop waffling. Okay, so let's go over the specs just quickly. 1 meter drop rating, that's okay. I would have preferred 1.5 to 2, but at this price range, that's to be expected. Quad emitter, I should say. Quad emitter SST 20s. This is 6,000 to 6,500 Kelvin as a tint value. Not too heavy, I don't think. 21-700 cell. Doesn't have mag charging, but it has a magnetic base. And it has the Type-C, which I really like. I think it's high time we all move to Type-C, but I won't belabor that point. So to look at, it's nothing particularly amazing. It does have a headband, and it's a 3-pointer, which is about right, because yes, these are heavier than the 18650s, but they don't bother me. But it is okay. It's just okay, the headband, but I'll cover it in the full review. And it does have battery. In fact, I'll quickly go over it. So it does have an E-lock, which I love on a headlamp, because if you're going to stuff it in a backpack, you don't want to get to camp and go, oh brilliant, it's been stuck on and it's now dead, or it's burnt a hole through the bag. That's the other thing. Annoying. Let's get this turned on. There it is, boosh. So quite a nice beam. That's on high. The first high, not the turbo one. Very nice. Can't believe how many bugs are out tonight. So like I say, IP68, 1 meter drop rating, E-lock with 4 clicks, and 3 clicks is strobe, which I'm not going to do because some people go, epilepsy warning, epilepsy warning. Okay, fair enough. I'll show you in the full review, but I will cover it. And it's quite nice. I like the beam. It's usable. I could hike by this, and the step down is reasonable considering the output, and it's certainly not as quick as the PL47 Gen 2 from Firefly. So very impressive. Very nice, right. Any questions, stick them down below and I will get to them when I can. Full review when I've done a lot more testing. I like to do a lot more testing and side-by-sides. We'll go back to turbo here. Boom, there, beautiful, look at that. Look at the beam there. You can see how powerful that is. Crumbs. It's attracting all the flies. In fact, there's been quite a few bats have been flying around. Beautiful. Now I'm getting bit. Hang on. Get off. Anyway, I've been waffling enough. So thank you very much for joining me. Any questions, stick them down below and I will get to them when I can. And I think I have another Sofirn and another workhorse to look at when I get time. But I've got tools piling up, I've got lights piling up. I will get to them when I can. So thank you for joining me. Good night, and I will let you go. Goodbye. Let's turn this off and show you how dark it is. Boom, good night.